I think we will now move on to item 14b on the draft amendments to the Operational Directives on referral option. Madam Secretary, please take the floor to present this item to the committee.
Thank you, Madam Chairperson. And here I assure you that it's much, much, much more easier and it will be much quicker. I recall that at its fourth session in June 2012, the General Assembly requested that the committee begin a process of reflection on the experience gained in implementing the referral option. The committee launched such a reflection at its seventh session and continued at its eighth and ninth sessions. The committee at its ninth session decided that referral options should be extended to the urgent safeguarding list and that the 4-year waiting period should be deleted. You know that upon the actual directives, an element that is decided not to be inscribed on the representative list has a 4-year period where the submitting state is not allowed to submit the nomination again. And so here, the proposal is to introduce the referral option also for the urgent safeguarding list and to delete this 4-year interdiction period, I would say, retaining the possibility not to inscribe an element when a nomination provides evidence that clearly demonstrates that the criterion is not satisfied. So 3 options are kept: inscribe, not inscribe, or refer, but the 4-year period doesn't exist anymore for the representative list. It didn't exist for other mechanisms. And given that the nominations to both lists are now evaluated by a single evaluation body, it is indeed very appropriate that the procedures be aligned concerning the 2 lists. But in the interest of coherency and simplicity, the document proposes that the referral option also applies to the proposals to the registers of best practices and to the request of international assistance, so that at the end the committee and the evaluation body or the bureau in different cases have always 3 options for all mechanisms that are proposed to their decision: yes, approve, no, and referral, knowing that the tendency, the trend that was applied during the committee is that no is a restricted choice where referral can encompass both technical issues that should be improved and more substantial issues. That's the revision of directives that are implied are coming from paragraphs 30 to 37 of the operational directives and are included in the annex to document 14b as shown on the screen.
Thank you, Madam Secretary. Any member of the committee would like to take the floor at this stage based on what Madam Duvel just explained to us? I see that everything was clear. Let's move now to the decision. And I suggest that we start with the proposals for revision of paragraphs 30 to 37 of the operational directives shown on the screens. Let's now proceed paragraph by paragraph. Paragraph 30. What are we doing? Any objection to? Okay. Okay, we delete the 2 parts, and then we add to inscribe or not to inscribe, etc. And then we have to select or not to select, and we add at the end of that sentence or to refer the proposal to the submitting state for additional information. And then lastly, to approve or not to approve, etc., or to refer the request. Good. any objection to any part of paragraph 30? I see no objection. Can we adopt paragraph 30 as a whole? I see no objection. Is adopted. And then paragraph 31 to 34, no change. And we go to paragraph 35, where we delete whether or not an element shall be inscribed and just have urgent safeguard or on them. Okay. Submitting state for additional information. Whether the proposals have been fair.
N'allez pas trop loin, juste 35.
Okay. Brazil, do you want to take the floor on 35? Please take the floor.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Brazil received a proposal from the delegation of Spain, who isn't in the committee. They were worried about a situation that happened during a vote last year. So they proposed to amend item 35 in order so that it could read also as reads Rule 12.2 of the Rules of Procedure. Their proposed wording is, and if I may read it in French, les décisions sont prises généralement par consensus ou, les cas échéants, par majorité simple des membres du comité présent. That's the Spain's proposal, also to include this in the 35 paragraph of the operational directives.
Je vais parler en français parce que je comprends pas. Je t'avoue que je ne comprends pas bien l'esprit de l'amendement, puisque le règlement intérieur s'applique à toute action du comité à tout moment et donc à tout paragraphe des directives opérationnelles. Et donc je ne comprends pas très bien pourquoi, dans ce paragraphe 35 en particulier, il faudrait répéter une règle de procédure qui s'applique en tout état de cause, évidemment, à toute l'action et à chaque ligne, en quelque sorte, des directives opérationnelles.
Brazil?
Sorry to take the floor again. From what I understood, they wanted to put in the operational directives the question of adopting something by a consensual decision, which is not written in the point 12.2 of the Rules of Procedure. So they wanted it to be included in this paragraph 35.
Est-ce que je comprends que la proposition, c'est en quelque sorte de ne pas choisir la modalité d'adoption d'une décision pour ce cas des candidatures, alors que les Rules of Procedures prévoient deux autres modalités, vote à bulletin secret, vote à main levée, consensus, etc. C'est-à-dire, c'est en fait proposer une suspension des règles de procédure pour les inscriptions. Est-ce que c'est ça?
From what I understood, it's not that. It was just to include somewhere in the operational directives that the decisions are consensual, which is not written when we see here the voting procedures, and that was their proposal. But we could see how other member states think about it.
Brazil. That seems to be a bit complicated, but can you propose a concrete amendment so that we put it in that paragraph and we see how it reads?
Yes.
Okay? Bring it up and we put it in and we see how we feel. Thank you.
Madam Chair, a small point of order, please.
I'm sorry, Turkey. You have a point of order?
Yes. This is just to ascertain, Madam Chair. A committee member may have consultations with any other third party, but these should be Brazil's proposals. Thank you.
Thank you, Turkey. Yeah, it's not a Spanish proposal, but a Brazilian one. Brazil, where exactly do you want it in paragraph? Just before 36. So it will be tiré and 3-4. No, before. Just after information, you create a new tiré. Okay, is that now the proposal as it is on the screen? Decisions are generally taken by consensus or in some cases by simple majority of present committee members. And that will depend on this chapter which says the evaluation body shall submit to the committee an evaluation report that includes decisions that are generally, St. Lucia is consulting, but first of all we need to agree whether this paragraph fits here and then whether the language is correct. I give the floor first to Turkey.
Madam Chair, I would like to understand from Brazil what is the logic. The decision making is very clear in the committee, in the rules of procedure. Why do we need to insert another paragraph just to recopy what is actually in effect?
Brazil, I will soon go to the committee to ask them if they support this amendment, but I give first the floor to Latvia.
Thank you. We believe that paragraph 35 mainly was dealing with different types of decisions that might be taken. So let's say accepting, not accepting, or referring. But then what was proposed, and also taking into consideration the additional explanation that was also given by the Secretary, we would be in favor of the fact that the procedure issues are really remained for the rules of procedure of the committee and not really raised here. Thank you.
Thank you. Latvia, Belgium.
Thank you, Chair. We actually share the same view. I think this could be kind of confusing to add some language here on our rules of procedure. So we would also be in favor of the deletion of this amendment.
Thank you, Belgium. Brazil, the feeling is that this does not belong in the operational directives, but in the rules of procedure. Brazil, do you want to take the floor? No? You accept to delete, to withdraw this amendment? Thank you, Brazil. The amendment is deleted. Let's now adopt paragraph 35. I see no objection. Paragraph 35 is adopted. Continue, or is it finished? Not yet. Paragraph 36. Nominations, proposals, or requests. That the committee decide not to inscribe, select, or approve. Okay? Any amendment to adopt any, I'm getting tired, any objection to adopt paragraph 36? I see none. Paragraph 6 is adopted. Paragraph 37 is completely deleted and replaced by a new one. Any objection to adopt that new paragraph? New paragraph 37 is adopted. We have now adopted paragraph by paragraph. Can we now adopt it as a whole? This is an annex, huh? Okay. Any objection to adopt this annex as a whole? I see none. The annex is adopted. Now we move to the draft decision, 10COM14b, a very short one. So do we need to read also paragraph by paragraph? Can I suggest that we adopt this short paragraph as a whole? This short decision as a whole. I see no objection. I therefore declare that decision 10COM14b is adopted. Thank you very much.